Hello and welcome. You're watching Trending at 10 with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Lynching has become a disturbing phenomenon in this country. We've done enough and more programs right here on NDTV. And to all those who accuse the media of concentrating only on the lynchings of a people from a particular community, what we want to say, lynching of anyone is horrendous and done by anyone should be called out as a crime and deserves the harshest punishment. Today's story is about Gopal, a Gau Rakshak in Haryana, who was attempting to highlight a case of alleged illegal cow smuggling, and he lost his life in a skirmish. A hashtag, Gopal lynched, has now started trending on social media. Of course, a lot of people are highlighting about the fact that why do people in the mainstream media only have their bleeding hearts when there is a lynching or alleged lynching of people from a particular community and not B particular community. But by highlighting this story, we want to say our heart goes out to all the members of the family of Gopal. But we would like to talk about the urgent need now for a new law, an anti-lynching law, as the only concrete solution in the future. That discussion coming right up. But before that, let me quickly get you a bit of breaking news that is coming in at this moment. The BJP, after a lot of confusion whether Kuldeep Singh Sengar has been sacked, whether he is suspended or is he expelled, the state BJP chief initially saying that no, he is suspended, then we getting information here in the national capital that no, he has been expelled. Finally, at the end of the day, the BJP has been able to clear the confusion. Let's listen in to this reaction coming in from the BJP state president.
देखिए, राज्य सरकार उन्नाव पीड़िता के साथ खड़ी है और केंद्रीय नेतृत्व ने निष्कासित कर दिया। इस समय आज की वर्तमान की स्थिति है कि कुलदीप सेंगर पार्टी से निष्कासित है।
All right, let me quickly go across to my colleague Alok Pandey. Alok, finally the BJP decided to end the confusion. Should this qualify as a complete collapse of communication lines between the central BJP and the state BJP on the status of Kuldeep Sengar?
Well, it did, Sanket. I mean, you were yourself reporting in the morning that your sources had told you that Sengar had been expelled, and then Swatantra Dev Singh went ahead and said that no, that was not the case. And then again, 2 hours later, he came back to say and came back to give a bite that yes, it has happened. And now that letter that you see on your screen is the formal letter that's been issued by the BJP Uttar Pradesh unit as part of a press release that basically says the same thing, says that he was already suspended, of which we have no proof, by the way, and then says that the party ke Pradesh Adhyaksh ne kaha hai ki ab wo nishkashit ho gaye hain. So I think they put on paper what they've been dilly-dallying about all day. That letter carries the signature of the media in charge of Uttar Pradesh, Himanshu. It doesn't carry the signature of the state president, but at least it is in written form. So I don't think they can go back on this now. So yes, that's the case. But like you said, deluge of misinformation, if I can call it that, all day. First, they're saying that Sengar was expelled through sources. Then the state president denying it on camera. Then again calling ANI to give a bite to say that it's happened, and now the letter.
Alok Pandey, many thanks for joining us. All right, yes, we're talking about the latest incident of a Gau Rakshak who was shot dead by an alleged cow smuggler. Now, this is being called as another form of lynching. A hashtag called Gopal lynched has gone viral, and people are saying that why not highlight the plight of Gopal? Why only highlight the plight of people of a certain community? Well, we here at NDTV are saying lynching of any human being is wrong. Hate crime is wrong. And that is why there is an urgent and pressing need to have a law in place, an anti-lynching law. Let me quickly introduce my guest this evening, Syed Asad Abbas. He's a political analyst, joins us. I also have with me Professor Sanjeev Tiwari, he's a political analyst, and Pragya Bhushan is also a political analyst and a lawyer. In just a short moment, we'll be joined in by Tehseen Poonawala, who has actually drafted the Manav Suraksha Kanun, Masuka. We'll try to understand from him what are the provisions of that law and how it can protect one and all. Sanjeev Tiwari, let me begin with you. Today or yesterday it was Pehlu Khan, some other person, and then today it is Gopal. The point over here is that we have to look at lynching not from the prism of religion, but from the prism of a hate crime. And thus, do you think that the only way to be able to stop this madness is a law?
You are right.
Religion irrespective law.
The selective outrage should not be there, and that is what we can see. When 49 people, they wrote a letter on the lynching of one of the person from a particular community, but today they are silent. Not only that, all the celebrities who were there in their outrage when the particular lynching took place, but today they are again silent. And I will congratulate you that on this occasion, at least you and the NDTV, they came out with this particular program and tried to highlight.
I don't know why you say it, because on this occasion.
Because what is the issue? Issue is that we don't need the law. The law was introduced 2 days back, yesterday in the Rajasthan Vidhan Sabha, when they introduced the protection from the lynching bill 2019 in the State Assembly, and that was discussed. And if you will see the provisions of that lynching law which was introduced in Rajasthan, where the Congress government is there, and since Rajasthan's border is very near to the place where the Gopal was lynched, he was killed, it's near Nuh, and if you will cross the Nuh's border, you will start the Rajasthan state. From the Nuh and the other areas, the cows, they are smuggled to those areas. Now, when we talk about this type of lynchings which are related with the religion, you will find that basically the basis of the lynching is the cow smuggling, because the cow and the cattle, they are the lifeblood of the village economy. Village economy depends upon the cows and the cattle, and that is why the people, they not only protect because of their religion, because the Gau, Gayatri and Ganga, they are very sacred in their religion.
But also religion. It's a source of income.
But it's also the entire economy of the villages depends on that, and that is why they protect it by
proposed
anyhow.
Amendments.
I would like to
In her
say
reply,
that
the minister
as far as the laws are concerned, this law is concerned, the bill possesses a stiff sentence of the life imprisonment for those involved in the act of lynching.
Okay.
But if you compare it with what do you call IPC 302, that is the murder, then you'll find that not only life imprisonment, there is provision for what do you call death sentence in that particular act. That act already prevails. But if you want to solve the problem, you have to go into the latent problem, hidden problem, and that problem is protection of the cows.
No,
and that is why we require
one moment.
Stringent law.
Pragya Bhushan, before I come to you, Syed Abbas, see, my point is, when you look at the problem of lynching with the very parochial vision of just cow smuggling, religion, Hindu, Muslim, then I don't think we are addressing the problem properly, Mr. Tiwari. I feel that even fake news leads to lynching.
Of course.
Incidents of someone trying to steal an instant justice, a demand of instant justice in the society also leads to lynching. All these things have to be part. They all have to be part of possibly a new anti-lynching law. Mr. Abbas, your views.
Well, Sanket Upadhyay Sahab, I certainly do agree to your point of view, and my perspective would be very simple. We have seen hate crimes in the name of politics, in the name of religion mostly. I think Allama Iqbal very beautifully has summarized in one line, Mazhab nahi sikhata, aapas mein bair rakhna. I think it is this division which needs to be dissolved at the immediate. What we saw in the case of Junaid, Pehlu Khan, we also did see with the recent Tabrez Ansari or even otherwise. I do agree with you. Mob lynching and also the anti-lynching bill should be more universal. It should be ratified in such a way that it is able to be an umbrella term where any form of lynching which comes under the hate crimes, it must and should be addressed, and there should be an exceptional redressal to it. Now, coming to what is happening in today's day and age, it is unfortunately, with all due respect to Gau Mata, I would say, why do we humans are killing humans in the name of cow vigilantism? With the due respect offered to cow being a devotion of a god and its form. But
No,
why
one
kill
moment,
another human?
Sayyid Abbas.
Let's
No,
both-
one moment.
Sayyid-
Sayyid Abbas, one moment. Let me intervene. In this particular case, and Tehseen is also with us, in this particular case that we are highlighting today of Gopal, he was not he was a part of a Gaur Rakshak Dal, right? He did not lynch
That's right.
anyone. He did not lynch anyone, correct?
That's right.
Possibly he was alone. This incident happened in Hodal in Haryana on the Haryana-Rajasthan border. He did not attempt to lynch anyone. He was
Absolutely.
trying to highlight a case of
He was just
alleged,
trying to-
one moment, an alleged cow smuggling. And then he was shot dead. He was shot dead by the person who was involved in an alleged act of cow smuggling. I think that this too qualifies as a hate crime. This is not
Okay.
just a normal crime, and that's why you need the law.
Sankit Sahab, let me bring in this point here. I categorically condemn what happened to Gopal. I also categorically condemn all those who kill innocent people in the name of cow vigilantism. It is unfortunate what has happened. I certainly condemn it, and what happened with Gopal should never happen again. It is absolutely wrong. But what also happened with Junaid is wrong. Pehlu is wrong. Tabriz is wrong. Any form of lynching is wrong. Here we are talking about
and that's
Gaur
why
Rakshak.
a
Yes.
religion irrespective law. Tehseen, I'm going to come to you in
Yes.
just a short moment. Pragya Bhushan, do you think that the only logical way to approach this problem is to stop looking at it from cow protectionism,
Very
from
true.
the prism of Hindu, Muslim,
Very true,
Sikh?
Sanket. This selective outrage is the
crime is
problem.
hate crime?
Hate crime is a hate
Lynching
crime. Like
is lynching?
Mr. Abbas was right now saying so many names, but he didn't utter a word about Ankit, Chandan. You should have spoken about them also. It's about, we are not into a barbaric society. We are not into an uncivilized society. We have laws, we have police, we have courts, we have judiciary. So why can't we make a law and we should deal with the problem, tackle with the problem, this kind of hate lynching, whether it is marrying inter-religion marriages, whether it is cow vigilantism. If some Rahman is bombed by cow smugglers in Bengal, then you don't speak about Rahman, because he was bombed and he lost his hand by these cow smugglers in Bengal. So you should speak about everyone. This selective
certainly
outrage
do,
is
ma'am.
creating the divide amongst these
I
Hindus
certainly
and
do.
Muslims, which should not be there.
Okay, one
Okay,
moment.
just a quick
Mr. Abbas,
point,
before you
Sanket.
reply, one moment. I have to go across. See, because we lose the larger focus of this discussion. Very, with a lot of thought, we have decided to talk about having a law.
Very true.
The moment you talk about something constructive and move away from this religion-infested debate, we will do great service to our society. Tehseen Poonawala, you have pioneered this job that we are talking about, that is to get in a law. Tell us a little about your experience in the Supreme Court. What does the proposal in your law say? And can it be implemented for all and become, what should I say, religion neutral?
It should be.
The cases we put in front of the Honorable Supreme Court were religion and sex gender neutral. We put up 21 cases, mostly about 10 or 11 Muslims, 8 or 10 Hindus, men, women, third gender. Everybody is getting lynched. You must not get lynched irrespective of your gender, sexual orientation, or your religion. That should not be a reason to lynch you. Nobody should be lynched from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, West Bengal to Gujarat. Having said that, the only solution then is a law. Why do we need a specific law? We need a specific law because there is no definition of lynching in our CRPC or in our IPC, as said by Amit Shah ji a few days ago in Parliament. If you don't know what is a lynching, you will obviously have those crimes being committed. You will not have a solution for it. So all those arguments were put before the Supreme Court and a draft law called Masuka, which the Supreme Court liked, and it said that we must pass this law, which now the Rajasthan government is passing it, and I hope the central government will pass it soon.
Okay.
What does the law entitle? The law, in short, says it defines lynching The law says that if your person is lynched, he or she, there must be an investigation completed in a time frame, just like today what the Supreme Court said for the girl. The investigation should be conducted by no less than a senior inspector and must be monitored by an IG of police. It must be monitored, the case must go to a judge who has minimum 7 years of experience. Any area where a lynching happens, the SHO must undergo a magistrate investigation, not a police investigation, because police try to save the police. And the most pertinent point, there must be the clause for rehabilitation, not just financial rehabilitation of a minimum 25 lakhs, but also psychological and family to be rehabilitated. Because when a family is lynched, when a person is lynched, the entire family loses its livelihood. These are the basic clause. All I'm saying today is neither a Gau Rakshak, neither somebody who's involved in a dairy farming, nobody, an RSS worker or a Congress worker, nobody should be lynched in this country. It's the most barbaric act, and in 21st century India, there is no scope for it. It simply must not happen.
I think whoever can raise the voice for whoever must do it. It's that simple as that.
Yes.
So if there is a feeling that in a community, and Pragya as well as Mr. Tiwari, I'm going to come back to you. If there is a feeling in a community, say the Hindu community, that no one's talking about Gopal, then you talk about him. If Mr. Abbas feels that no one seems to be talking about Pehlu Khan, then he will talk about them. The idea is the more we represent any case of a hate crime, injustice or lynching, the more justice we are doing, and the only way to focus on these cases and make sure that we deliver justice in all of these cases is a law.
Here I will...
Tehseen has spoken about the various provisions of the law that he proposes.
Yeah,
what do you have to say about that?
But the issue is that law is not the solution of the entire problems in the society. Why? Because we are having a law which was formed, which is very strict law as far as the rape is concerned after the what happened in 2014 in 2012 in Delhi. That is the
Nirbhaya case.
Yes. Nirbhaya case. Then after the law was formed. But you see, if you see the data, then you will find that there is no substantial reduction in the rape cases even after that. Either there is less education.
Of course, the law has to be
it has to be enforced. It has to be enforced.
But
the issue is that you need to educate the society. You need to inculcate the values in the society. Then only this type of the mob lynching and the other side.
Can I tell you something, Pragya?
Yeah, number one. Number two.
By this
we
logic,
are having the sufficient laws.
By this logic, murders are still happening, though 302 section exists.
First step
laws
to
have to be there.
Any development, any reform is making law.
For instance,
and then
I will come to that.
Does our law recognize lynching? I want to know from you, does our law, present law, even recognize what is lynching? It will be treated as murder.
It's clearly said that.
Of course.
Yes.
More stricter,
lynching word,
more
as of now, we are hearing from last few months.
It's different. Fake news leads to lynching. Religious hatred leads to lynching. Right? You just don't like someone's face, that leads to lynching. I mean, all sorts of things are leading to lynching. So we have to define lynching.
When we talk about the anti-lynching laws, then you have to go to the genesis of that, because Tehseen must have done it.
Of course, the
because
basis
the
of drafting the law will be the genesis of this.
The genesis of the lynching is from the USA, when there was total chaos in the entire US society in 17th and 18th century. It's not the Indian phenomena. And that is why you don't find any word parallel to the lynching in the entire Hindi or Sanskrit or Urdu texts. You tell me a word which can be used appropriately.
But we have to recognize
but the thing is that
this particular problem as of
it's
now,
basically
it is very much prevalent in our society, and we have to correct it. And we have
I
to do
don't have
something.
much time. This is a short duration discussion. Very quickly, Mr. Abbas and then Tehseen. Mr. Abbas.
So very
recognize
clearly,
lynching exists in this country. It is a problem. Just because we don't have a word in Hindi.
No, that is not the issue.
Then?
I'm just talking about that appropriate laws are already there, and there is need to enforce it.
I don't think there is any law that defines lynching in this country, and we need
disagree.
it. Religion neutral. Yes, Mr. Abbas.
I certainly disagree with Tiwari Sahab. I think certain stricter, stringent more measures need to come across, and lynching certainly must be identified as a very serious, grave crime here in India in our constitution. certainly the amends must be made. And I certainly support Masuka bill, and I think not just Rajasthan but many other states in India should come through. Lynching is a reality. It's a bitter, harsh reality. And like you have aptly summarized it, saying that yes, hate crimes do take place in India. Not just hate crimes, but people are being killed in the name of religion, in the name of
Targeted
violence and whatnot. Yes, certainly. And also, I'd like to it certainly applies to me as well. Selective outrage is definitely not the solution. Like I said, ma'am, Pragya Bhushanji, I certainly do agree with you. I condemn the death of Ankit, Sansad, and so many others. And certainly, like I mentioned, the others. Also what happened to Gopal. But finally, the point I'm here trying to say is, we did see 49 celebs, 49 celebs on one front, 62 celebs on the other front, the more towards the pro-Mahdi government. Celebs of 49 denigrated mob lynching. They had
that
objection with mob lynching.
Pro-Modi or
but the celeb 69,
Okay, one more. See, we'll lose focus. We'll digress.
With lynching.
We'll digress once again. Tehseen, see, the point is, do we need to define lynching, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, the Supreme Court has also asked for it. But two quick points that Mr. Tiwari was saying. Lynching also happened in the 14th century, where women were branded as witches and they were lynched. And the word lynching comes from a man called Lynch, who was actually lynched. Therefore, there is no parallel of that word in Indian languages. It does not mean it doesn't happen. I think what each one of us needs to think is why in the 21st century, something that happened as barbaric in the 14th or 15th century or 17th century is happening in India in the 21st century. And people are using modern technology like 4G phones and smartphones to spread it. I think that is more worrisome for us. And I think all of us must collectively come together as a society and see how we can end this hate. That is the way forward. Not wonder about why the word is not in our dictionary.
All right, Pragya, Sanjeev Tiwari, Syed Abbas, as well as Tehseen Poonawalla, many thanks for joining us. Let's just say that we should all be really, really upset about any case of lynching or crime, hate crime particularly, targeted violence that is reported in this country, whether it is Gopal, Pehlu Khan or anyone else. Religion-neutral law is the only solution for a problem like this.